All right, guys. So as you know, if you've watched any previous videos or any previous live streams I've done, you know I'm a big advocate for the Stop Killing Games initiative, and I've been covering it a little bit here. And as I was perusing the Twitters here, I ran across this post by Pirate Nation. Now, I have not read through this whole thing because as soon as I saw this, I just started everything up to start recording. So we're going to go through this together. So it starts off where they posted huge win for gamers and consumer rights. The California State Assembly just passed AB 1921, the Protect Our Games Act. So let's get into seeing, well, what is that? It passed on the floor by a vote of 43 to 16. The bill would force video game companies to give players a heads up before they shut down the servers for a game. Now, to be fair, in most cases, they do that. Any good company already does this, but we already know there's a particular company out there that doesn't like to do this. Ubisoft. Sorry, I had a little bit of a cough there. So there's that. It would also make them provide a way for people to keep playing afterward. Now, this is the big important part, like adding offline mode or letting community servers take over.
I see this as an absolute win.
I feel like that's a huge step. I mean, there's games that we already have out that have been around for eons. Let's take Phantasy Star Online. You know, back in the day on Dreamcast, I believe it also came out on GameCube and Xbox later on. And that game has been long gone as far as any kind of any official capacity. But if you do a little bit of internet searching, you'll find that there's actually a community-run server. There's actually a few of them. So if that's a game you're interested in still playing, it's still out there. Quick recap of what the bill does. 60-day advance notice before any server shutdown or major service change that would make the game unplayable in its quote-unquote ordinary use, right? So basically what that's saying is if they're going to shut the servers down, there could be some features or functions that don't work because it's no longer connected to the official server in any capacity. So you can take that how you will, but that's what I'm getting from that. Companies must then provide a workable solution so players can keep playing, usually in offline mode, patch, community server support, or in some cases, a full refund. Now, I'll read on, and maybe this will answer my question, but I'm curious now, does this apply to free-to-play games? So let's say I play a lot of First Ascendant, right? So let's say in a couple of months, they decide, you know what, this game's not profitable. I hope not, by the way. I don't want to see that happen. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, that game shuts down. Okay, so what about all the money I spent on skins? The game is free to play, but I still gave them some money for skins. So I'm not sure if this is going to apply to that, or if this is one of those cases like The Crew, for example, from Ubisoft, where you had to buy the game, but you still needed to be connected online. Same thing with Phantasy Star Online, by the way. Now, Sega was smart in the beginning and already gave that game an offline mode. So that was pretty much covered in that particular scenario. But if Sega can do that back in like 1999, why can't we do that now? But I digress. Applies to digital games first sold or subsequently re-released in California. So it sounds like this is mostly a California state law. I would imagine give it some time, and this is going to be standard everywhere. But for right now, it sounds like this is the first time I've seen California do something that's actually kind of a win. Let's see. So it says re-released in California after January 1st, 2027. So this will not apply to anything released until after that date. So anything going on now doesn't affect that, which I can see already here. Does not affect subscription games, free-to-play titles, or games that were already permanently offline single player. Gee, if I would have just looked down, I would have answered my question from earlier. Enforceable by the Attorney General or District Attorneys. In short, if you buy a game, you should be able to play it even after the company moves on. Yes, 100%. No more purchase turning into a rental that expires when the servers die. 100%, guys. 100%. I'm going to leave a link down to Ross's channel below. He's the guy who from Accursed Farms. He's the guy who got this whole ball rolling, by the way. In case you're interested in where this all started. A lonely YouTuber got this started. I remember watching his very first video on this, and he wasn't even sure if this was going to go anywhere. Well, look at where we are now. All right, so Pirate Nation kind of goes on to say a few more things. Right now, the bill is heading to California State Senate. This is the stage where hearing from regular people can really help push it forward. So, if you live in California, look up your state senator and tell them you support AB 1921, and you can find them here. I'm gonna go ahead and post this link in the description here, but you can also see it here on my screen. So, but I will go ahead and post that in my description below. If you do not live in California, you can still send a letter of support to the Chair of Senate Privacy and Data Oversight Committee. Here, I will also leave this link in my description below. See, there's a video playing here. Let's kind of rewind and let's take a look at this.
Hey everybody, I'm Assemblymember Chris Ward from San Diego, and I got some big news from the state capitol. AB 1921, the Protect Our Games Act, has just passed the legislature with 43 aye votes and bipartisan support. So it's over in the state Senate now, and we're going to be able to debate that in committee in the month of June. The idea came to me from a constituent in San Diego who is tired of seeing their games shut down after recent purchases. So if you live in California, be sure to contact your state.
So from the looks of it, this could end up going federal, because this is already starting to spread from what I'm seeing here.
Senator and tell them as a gamer or a developer why you care and this matters to you. We're fighting for your consumer protection and making sure that you have a full right and enjoyment to these games. Hey,
I want to just make a quick note before I kind of go on to read some of these comments. I am actually really happy to see that the government is starting to take this seriously, because I'm sure before, if you said the word video game to any politician, they would look at you like, okay, come talk to me about something that matters. But this does matter, because this is a consumer rights issue. This is something people spend money on. You know what I mean? Like, I understand these developers hold IP rights. I understand that they created something that they want to hold close to the chest. I can understand that. As someone working on my own game, I can understand that to a certain degree, right? But there comes a point where you got to start getting over this too big to fail crap and understand that there's a fine line between providing a product and a service to people and just flat out ripping people off. And that's what a lot of these big name publishers and developers have been doing for a while now, which is why I'm such a huge advocate on this. Coming from someone like me, who I know I've said it 50 billion times, I grew up in an era where none of this would have even have been a thought that crossed anyone's mind back in the day when video games kind of were starting to first mature a little bit and become more and more mainstream. No one would have considered any of the stuff, the business practices that people are doing now. This would have never been a thought. But here we are. You're going to see a lot of new subscription-based games then, or multiplayer free-to-play games that are heavily monetized. And that's different compared to now, because we've already seen this. I don't even know what this person's talking about. So the game is free, but any extra stuff isn't. Where have you been, dude? And like, by the way, don't go and make comments to people or harass people if you see a comment that, looks stupid. Good luck fighting that when you have a law that cements the practices that harm you. Dude, have you not been paying attention? This is already happening. I'm not even going to comment on the stupidity of what I just read there. So I'm going to move on. It's in California. It doesn't matter unless it's in California. They also, for sure, are pushing this because they want to do something else to make life harder for people elsewhere. I don't really understand where you're getting that. And okay, fine, to be fair, every once in a while, these politicians will throw people a bone to get them to go, oh, look at this nice thing they did, just so they can screw you over somewhere else. But I digress. And we got a pirate software win. If you put heavier restrictions on making online-only games, then you will get less online-only games and more single-player or couch co-op games. Your terms are acceptable. 100%. I'm okay if I would not be sad at all if we didn't get a whole bunch of online-only games. There's a few that I like, yes. But if we got more single-player games, you wouldn't hear me complain about that either. Just saying. Does not affect subscription games, free-to-play titles, or games that are already permanently offline single players. So nearly every game anyone cares about will be exempt, and any future live service games will be either free-to-play or subscription. Sounds about right for California lawmakers. Again, though, we're already seeing this has already been a thing. So I don't really understand why people are complaining. But anyway, let me know what you think about the comments, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you disagree with all of this? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with me? I'm willing for having that conversation. But otherwise, that's what's going to do it for this video. And if you enjoyed it, please give a like. I would highly appreciate that. And if you're new here and you enjoyed this, or you enjoyed the information that I gave you, please consider subscribing. That would be awesome. All right. Peace out.